I highly recommend. If you got a problem, rub your heart. Love on yourself.
Could you give me that backstory that you were giving me over there about your practice whenever you feel stressed, what you do?
There's this fella, Paramahansa Yogananda, I really appreciate. He's got a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. And somewhere in there, I gleaned that you can go to any church, any country, any language, and pray to your God the way you pray, because it's a house of God and there's one God. And somehow I can't really remember, but somehow I was led to rub my heart when I was stressing. And I was really stressing. I was going to go to jail or something. And I rubbed my heart, and I kept saying, God, Father, Creator, Giver of all life, guide me in everything I think, say, and do. For with you I am all things. Without you I am nothing. I love you, I love you, I love you. I am a light. Creator God shines through. He and I are one, not two. I need not fear, nor doubt, nor plan, for he needs me now just as I am. So if I stay relaxed and free, he'll carry out his plan for me. And the only thing I could come up with was, I love you, I love you. And then one day I realized that I was saying the words, I love you, and my hand was rubbing my heart. And then this little light popped up. Well, you must be God loving on yourself. And it all just gelled. It all just, with that thought. And so right and wrong, up and down, black or white, inside or out, I don't have to think anything. All I have to do is act consciously, without effort, loving Creator. And I know that whatever, if I'm loving Creator, the moment I'm doing something, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to be collectively creating karma for myself, or hurting anybody, or lying to anybody, or stealing from anybody, or any of that. I'm just going to be loving Creator, because that's what Creator is. You can't really say what Creator is, but that's my interpretation.
Yeah.
It's so much love, and got a side hustle.
Yep.
And you're always side hustling. And so when you have kids, you have that side hustle of responsibility. And regardless of who you are, you're going to get stressed out and messed up. And I used to, when I was an angry young man, kick the dog, you know, for no apparent reason. You know, I'm just mad, and he was around, and he'd always forgive me, and we got along. And I think there's a lot of domestic abuse, and I'm really happy that women are standing up and participating. But I think conditioning over worldwide conditioning with money, with food, with responsibility, there's just not enough time to do it right, you know. And so I think a lot of people are possibly foregoing that responsibility so they can follow their craft, follow their endeavor, you know, get ahead. Like, I've got 4 kids. My son's 54. He's got 2 kids. My daughter's 50. She's got 2 kids. My other daughter's 35. She's got 2 kids. And I got another daughter that's a twin, has no kids, never been married. She's going to be going to Antarctica as a marine biologist, resident marine biologist on a National Geographic Explorer, a ship full of scientists in February, 4th trip.
Yep.
And she's been around the world. She's walked across Borneo. She's walked across, where's Argentina? Argentina, Peru, Chile.
Yep.
And then flown to Hawaii and swam with whales and for NOAA. And then they put her out on an island 800 miles past Kauai. You know, it's called Pearl Hermes, for 40 days at 40-foot altitude with no trees, out in the middle of the damn ocean. You know, just she walked across Mendenhall Glacier.
Is she happy?
If you're single and you're making any kind of money, you better get out of her way. She'll get after you. You know, because she's always gone, and so while in port, you know, and but I think she wants to have kids, and I think she wants a steady life. All of her siblings have it, but she put herself through school and never asked for a dime. All of my kids have, you know, and
except for her. All your kids have asked for something except for her, is what you're saying?
No, all my kids have gone out and put themselves through school. They got a work ethic.
Yep.
They don't have their hand out.
How'd you teach that? Did you do that on purpose, you and your wife?
Everybody that I know besides me, and I'm sure there's somebody else out there besides me, helped their kids get a car when they were in high school.
Yep.
And I told my kids, that's your first adult purchase. You want a car? Get a job. And I want to see a year's worth of insurance up front. If I buy you a car, you're going to wreck it in 60 days, and I'm going to be out the money. If you buy a car, you're going to wreck it in 60 days, and you're going to be out the money and learned a valuable lesson. And I farmed here on this property for years, garlic. And I grew 5 acres of garlic, and I had contacts with Rayleighs and all over, and I helped start the Garlic Growers Association. And I made those kids work, and I didn't pay them by the hour. I paid them a percentage. So they had to harvest the garlic in the spring, they had to dig it up, hang it, they had to clean it, they had to box it, weigh it, we had to sell it, and we had to crack it, put more in year after year. And I would take each one of the kids, I'd take 3,600, 3,800 pounds of garlic through the Northern California growers check and through, you know, you got any produce? Nah, you know. And I was delivering into the co-ops, and then finally down in Fort Bragg, I was at the Fort Bragg store, and that guy, I think it was Rayleigh's, yeah, and he asked me if I could get a load to Rayleigh's in Sacramento. And so my little truck with 3,600 pounds of garlic on it drove down there with those semi-trucks. And they liked my garlic. I was selling to Christopher Farms also. They were from Gilroy were buying my garlic. And they told me that I could deliver in Wairika. And then they disperse. And I think 12 years, 10, 12 years I grew garlic. And then my kids grew up and had other endeavors. And my wife didn't want any strangers here. And it was hard work. And I couldn't do it by myself, so I quit doing it. And I went to work as a produce manager at not Safeway, Albertsons. And so instead of being an outlaw, I was a regular guy paying taxes, you know, raising the family, you know, and my wife taught school and during the day, and I cut vegetables during the night and was a closing night checker. And so we had 8 years of, she worked days and I worked nights. We were passing each other.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. You need to be there as a team.
Where'd you meet your wife? And when did you meet your wife?
I was an outlaw in 1967, 68, 68. I met her, and she was working at Mystic Arts World. And I walked in, I was probably loaded from being at the beach surfing, and I walked in, and I looked at her, and my jaw dropped, and I asked her to marry me.
Right there.
Right there on the spot. I didn't know her. I didn't know her name. Nothing.
What about her? What about her more than her beauty? Like, what was the feeling you got being in that lady's presence?
Well, I was a dipshit whore. I mean, you know, women were to conquer, and you know, once you conquered them, then you left them. And during that time, there was a lot of shit going around that you didn't want.
Yep.
And pre-love and all that stuff.
Yep.
And so I went up into the mountains for a year, celibate. Took a lot of acid and prayed around a lot, and found self-realization fellowship in Paramahansa Yogananda and started meditating, and then I decided it was time to go down to town. And so I left the mountains and I walked into town, and she was the first person I saw. Wow. And it just came out. And I think we got married a year later. Peyote meeting, a house meeting.
How did she respond when you asked her to marry you?
Get the fuck out of here, you're crazy. You know, leave me alone.
And you came back?
I stalked her. I mean, I was wearing paisley bell bottoms and had a little Buddha in a bag and had my ching, and hair was long, and I was looking behind bushes at her, you know. And every once in a while I'd sneak up behind her and rub her shoulders, and I just pestered the shit out of her, you know. And finally she relented and let me in. And oh wow, and there was some fireworks there. And we delivered all of our kids.
Just you two?
Yeah. Yeah. And well, the twins, I delivered them, but we had a helicopter standing by, and that was going to cost me $10,000. And the birthing room at Mount Ashland was $8,000, and the doctor standing by. So I opted to, and there was 80% chance of mishap delivering twins. So I opted to go to the hospital, and I'm glad I did. Sadie came out good. Maggie, she came out and put her arms out like that, and an hour and 45 minutes later, she still wasn't born. We had to C-section Candy. I was going to lose both of them,
Mm.
and but I got to bond with both of them before she did.
Mm.
You know, and so I got a really tight rapport with my girls.
Mm.
You know, and yeah, and they've lived here their whole life.
Yep.
You know, next year will be 50 years here.
Wow. Yep. Do you recommend that 1 year of celibacy for young men out there? Or do you think that was a specific to your case?
Paramahansa Yogananda. I really appreciate. He's got a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. And somewhere in there, I gleaned that you can go to any church, any country, any language, and pray to your God the way you pray, because it's a house of God and there's one God. And somehow I can't really remember, but somehow I was led to rub my heart when I was stressing. And I was really stressing. I was going to go to jail or something. And I rubbed my heart and I kept saying, God, Father, Creator, Giver of all life, guide me in everything I think, say, and do. For with you I am all things. Without you I am nothing. I love you. I love you. I love you. I am a light. Creator God shines through. He and I are one, not two. I need not fear, nor doubt, nor plan, for he needs me now just as I am. So if I stay relaxed and free, he'll carry out his plan for me. And the only thing I could come up with was, I love you, I love you. And then one day I realized that I was saying the words, I love you, and my hand was rubbing my heart. And then this little light popped up. Well, you must be God loving on yourself. And it all just gelled. It all just, with that thought. And so right and wrong, up and down, black or white, inside or out, I don't have to think anything. All I have to do is act consciously, without effort, loving Creator. And I know that whatever, if I'm loving Creator, in the moment I'm doing something, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to be collectively creating karma for myself, or hurting anybody, or lying to anybody, or stealing from anybody, or any of that. I'm just going to be loving Creator, because that's what Creator is you can't really say what Creator is, but that's my interpretation.
Yeah.
It's so much love, and I don't know.
Would you say that there's a lack of God in our world today, in comparison to when you grew up?
I don't have room for the devil. They say the devil's out there, a little orange, red guy with a pitchfork and a little angel and all that good shit. If you continuously, with each breath that you take, think God love, there's no room for the devil. There's just one power. And everything else is hallucinated, self-created bullshit. Literally stomp on it, throw it out of your life, don't have it around, don't no pentagons, nothing, anything that's negative, no Ouija boards, no Halloween, no, none of that.
Yeah.
Candles and incense.
Yeah.
Some good herb, and a good prayer, and always have Creator in mind to guide those thoughts. Like when people sit up in the teepee, they go in that teepee and they take a tobacco in the morning, and they're saying it's a verbal contract that you're going to sit up all night, you're not going to leave, you're not going to abandon this prayer, and that you're going to stay in there and you're going to help the sponsor of the prayer.
Yep.
And when you do that, you can pray for yourself, you can pray for your family, you can pray for your kids, you can pray for your sick auntie, you can pray for somebody that's passed, you can pray for the world out there in Tennessee that's drowning right now, and that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then you see these little miracles happen, and by ingesting these thoughts, these kind ways, you slowly become aware of who you are, and you start to change, and you start to be a better person. A lot of people go in that teepee just to to eat the medicine and come out and continue to be the way they are. You know, but you go in that teepee and you get well, you're going to come out and there's going to be people in that teepee that you don't know that you're going to want to hug like your mom and your dad. You know, because they shared that, what you were going through. And that brings people together. That helps people. They understand that there's other people out there that are suffering as much, if not more. You know, and the empathy, I don't know how. I can get winded, you know, and go on and on and on, and I don't mean to. I don't know how this is going to turn out, you know what I mean? You came over here out of the blue, and I don't normally do anything like this. And I'm just unloading. And
why'd you say yes?
Huh?
Why'd you even say yes to me coming over? Because I'll say this man, he said that he doesn't even give out his gate code to most people. And I've met him once. As a man, I've met you once. Let me put it that way.
You know, when you act consciously, without effort, you're not predisposed, you're not thinking. I have ended up with a lot of God winks in my life. And they still blow my mind. They still drop my jaw. And I was telling you about that golden eagle landed that tree and talked to me when I was sitting right there. And for no good reason, he just flew over here, landed on a tree and flapped his wings, man, and talked to me. And the only thing I could come up with, that's a God wink. And that's a blessing. That's an affirmation. That's a pat on the back that I'm in the right frame of mind. What was the original question?
My question is, why'd you say yes to a young man that you don't know coming over and offering you a little bit of work in exchange for a story on camera?
Well, that work is good. You know, and not that you did that much, but the fact that you offered, and my age and my conditioning and the way I am, and I'm old and slow, and I went, wow, free labor. And all I got to do is tell a story, and I tell stories, you know. And but more than that, it was poking a heart. I didn't know what you were about, but I knew who you were, and I knew how we met. And you were polite, and you're courteous, and you called me, and you told me what you were about. And all that night, Creator sat on my head and said, why not? And I'm trying my very level best, and I'm fallible. I fuck up, and I make not necessarily mistakes, but I have mishaps. Mistake means that I'm not responsible. Mishap means it happened. Like there's no accident. Accident means I'm not responsible. But a mishap means it happened. And we're responsible for everything that happens in our lives. Whether we believe it or not, man, you know, just innocent thought, you know. And so you don't want to swallow any of your stress. You want to kick it out. You know, so you rub your heart and you love your Creator, and you don't swallow your stress. If you swallow your stress, 24, 48, or 24, 36, 48, circadian rhythm, something will happen. You know, like you'll coincide with somebody driving down the road, going out the driveway, and bang, he got a problem, you got a problem, and you got each other's attention. It's not an accident. You guys programmed intuitively to do that shit. You know, and it's like karma when you rob a bank and you shoot somebody inside, and you run outside and somebody shoots you. You know, we do this to ourselves. And I've been trying to train myself to negate all those ulterior negatives, and I'm guilty. I have them. But as I have them, I recognize them, and I unfold them, and I look at them. I'm being taught a lesson and I'm in school. Even I'm an old guy, I'm still going to school.
Yep.
And I'm being schooled.
That's what Ohana would always say, the teepee's the school you never graduate from.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Ohana's a good guy. And he's carried a lot of prayers for a lot of people.
Yep.
But we need to learn to let go and to give credit where credit's due. And there's only one place where credit's due. Everything else is superfluous. Everything else is a possession. You know, everything. You know, I've got a tractor, and I got a grape arbor, and I got some bamboo over there, and I got a sauna, and stuff like that. Those are all ideas that came to my head that manifested by having that idea.
Yep.
If I didn't have that idea, they would not be there. You know, and if I didn't want to have clean water and a family, and you know, I'd be living in town. You know, but I'm here. I chose this life because I knew that somehow that I was going to be able to integrate my way of being into a hopefully peaceful reality, you know, and when I die,
Yep.
and that's going to happen.
Yep.
I've already gone through 6 lives. I'm working on my 7th one right now. and when I die, just say I got hit by a car and I'm laying out in the street and I'm dying. I don't want my last thoughts
Yep.
to be who I owe and who I hurt and you know, the dastardly things that when, you know, they say your life passes in front of you. It does. I want to be rubbing my heart, you know, and loving Creator, you know, and a smile on my face, you know, because I know I'm not going to die. My physical body is going to die, but my spirit
Yep.
is going to go into a holding pattern. And I'm a bodhisattva. And a bodhisattva vow is I will not get off this wheel of life until we all cross over together. And it's like, that's the rapture.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, that includes Charlie Manson and everybody else out there that is saying no.
Yep.
You know, and I got to keep coming back around. And you know how much I love you, I love this much, until we all do it together.
I mean, like that cop you were talking about, where he's shooting negativity at you and you shoot back, I love you. Here